Hello, my name is Jacqueline Chavez, and I'm a first generation student majoring in computer science, and I'm running for new member representative from 2025 to 2026. When I first started at the University of Houston, I felt slightly alone and unaccomplished. Everybody seemed to know everybody, and everybody spoke about internships as if it were their second language. It wasn't until I met one of my friends that introduced me to Chef that I finally was able to gain a community that I had always craved. Then they introduced me to convention, and I was finally able to gain the opportunity to be able to speak the second language everybody else spoke. While I was signing up for convention, I had to call my father and ask for help financially to be able to purchase a ticket. And I felt ashamed because, and in that conversation, he told me how proud he was of me. And once I hung up the call, I cried. Because at that point, I had to work 2 jobs to be able to financially support my education. And my dad was sick, and we were financially limited. And I couldn't even get my first interview. So in my eyes, I had nothing to be proud of. Because the only thing I was able to be proud of, which was being able to financially support myself, I had just given away by asking for help. And when I got to convention, I was a bit too jittery to be able to speak to a recruiter. And it wasn't until I sat down with our current new member representative in the middle of the hallway that she was able to calm me down. And I was finally able to go up and get my first interview. Which is why, as your first new member representative, my first order of business would be to create a group of students that have experience with interviews and convention to be able to aid those who need help. My second goal would be to create a committee fair so the new members could be able to go ask more in-depth questions about what the committees consist of. My third goal would be to be able to go more into class recruitments. Lastly, my last goal would be to aid in creating the first gen chair. Closing off, I would like to remind everybody that you are more than the class that you failed. More than the class that you failed, the internship you didn't get, how long it took you to graduate, or the GPA you put on your resume. The only difference between you and your dreams is time. Thank you, and vote for me for new member rep.
Hi, Jackie. I'm very proud of you for making the decision to run for new member rep. A large majority of your job is to recruit for the chapter. So act like I'm a new member. How would you pitch SHPE to me as someone that's never heard of SHPE? Give it to me in a 60-second pitch.
Okay, firstly, I would like to ask, who are you as a person? Because talking to somebody who's like very girly pop, very like, I love K-pop, so a lot of my friends love K-pop. But if I went to ask a guy that was super into sports, they wouldn't be able to be like, hey, BTS, But, so who are you as a person in this context?
I'm a member looking to join some works.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna go based on what I see. So you're a girl, and I feel like in STEM, you would always want a community. Being a girl in this environment feels pretty isolating at times. So I would go up to you and be like, hey, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Okay, well, I am a member of SHPE, and I really, really like my organization. It offers so many opportunities. It offers you the ability to gain something to add to your resume, and it gives you something to add to your resume by being able to join a committee. The committees are very, very kind and strong, and they're here to help you grow as a person. We also have a SHPE committee, and I've been in the SHPE committee. I've really, really loved it. And we do pajama parties, and we also go out to eat, and we get to speak with women that have already succeeded in life. Well, in what they wish to accomplish, because success comes in different ways. And what are the goals that you would like to gain?
I'm just looking to join an army.
I would like you to experience the same things I've been able to experience. And I would like you to come at least to one of our meetings And if you liked it, I hope you stay.
Thank you.
Jackie almost put all of us to cry in here, so thank you so much for sharing your personal story and being vulnerable to us. So, as a new member rep, Abby mentioned there is a lot of recruitment opportunities. You mentioned going to the classrooms. You probably have seen them participating in Cougar Carnival and so other school events or other pop-ups that they do. So, and if you get elected as a new member rep, what approach would you take to ensure that the chapter has a strong presence at recruitment events?
Well, I would like to start off as the reason why I wanted to do in-person recruitment. Class recruitment. While I was working and traveling back and forth, I only had time to be able to stay in class, study, and go home. So recruitment, I'm not very knowledgeable in. I was hoping I could ask the people before me later on to better advance myself in that department. But while in recruiting positions, as far as I'm able to tell you right now, is that I would try to be as open to as much energy as I physically could. Try to have people there for support with other people's questions, and be able to have enough energy for everybody so they can continue to ask me questions without feeling like a burden or like an annoyance.
Hi Jackie, my question for you would be, how would you motivate your team to meet recruitment and fundraising goals?
I would motivate my team by giving them enough time, because I feel like in this environment you're always told to go from one place to another. You have to move from one thing to another at a constant time basis. You're never allowed to relax. I feel like that gives easily to burnout. So I would allow them to breathe a little. Tell them that if they ever need anybody, I'm here. Make sure they have somebody to rely on. And while I'm doing that, make sure that they're excited about what they're doing. Because to motivate somebody is to make sure that they're excited and happy about what they're going to accomplish.
Hey Jackie, so with the various responsibilities that you'll have in terms of recruiting, fundraising, and all the other responsibilities, what do you feel personally would be your most challenging one?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
For you personally, which one do you feel would be most challenging to complete or accomplish?
I feel like sorry, you said three
Okay,
things.
so out of all your duties, right? Because as the new member rep or representative, you have a handful of different responsibilities that you're aware of. So out of all those, some of them are recruiting, fundraising. What else do y'all have to do? Meeting e-board, coordinate banquets, situations like that. What do you feel would be the most challenging for you?
I feel like I would love this part of it, but I feel like it would also be the most challenging. So recruiting takes a lot of energy out of you. You must be happy and open and laughable, and you must be able to stick to different people at different times. You have to switch from one personality to another, and I feel like after a certain time, you're probably gonna be drained. It's gonna be exhausting. You're gonna wanna go home, you're gonna wanna lock the door. But you can't, because the next day you'll have to do it again. I feel like I am a very open person. I love to talk, I'm a yapper. But over time I can see myself getting drained. But I know I'll enjoy it either way.
Thank you.